here's the open season franchise ranked. So there are 4 movies. Let's get started. Coming in at number 4 is the only movie I actually don't have nostalgia for at all. I think I might have seen it when it came out back in 2015, but I don't really. This is probably like the 3rd time that I've watched it. And that's Open Season Scared Silly. Shaw has some funny lines. It actually goes back to Open Season. Other than that, Mr. Weenie's song is entertaining for what it is, but it's so weird in the movie. And just like the voices are off, the animation looks really bad. I thought Shaw was hunting just for fun, and they do a Jaws parody that doesn't make sense. Elliot is super dumb, the dumbest in the franchise. He has to be, since he actually eats squirrel poop in this one. There's very little werewolf in the movie, and he doesn't show up until the very end. And you think Shaw would have noticed that Boog was the same bear he hunted before because of the stuffed bear, but it seems like he didn't notice it. He didn't notice that was Boog or whatnot. So, Open Season Scared Silly, just not that good. Not a good movie at all. Number 3 is Open Season 3. I like it that Boog felt lonely. That was interesting. I liked Boog and Alistair's chemistry. That was pretty entertaining. And the circus aesthetic was pretty fun. Especially in the 3rd act when the group is looking for Boog. On the other hand, I almost wish we saw a little bit of Guy's Trip to see what Boog was missing out on for this time. Elliot, just dumb. He's been getting progressively dumber with each movie. He can't even tell that the other Grizzly is not Boog. And he doesn't tell Boog that he can't go on Guy's Trip when he knew that for like 2 weeks. So just annoying and really dumb. This has nothing to do with Open Season. The animation, not very good. Other than those negatives, honestly, I have some nostalgia for this movie. I think it's kind of entertaining, so it might not be for everyone, but I personally kind of enjoy it. So I kind of like it. Coming in at number 2 is Open Season 2. Not a very fun ranking, is it? Because it's just like with every movie, it gets progressively worse. So that's not very interesting, but going along with it, I like it that we get to hang out with Boog and Elliot and the rest of the group, and the fun antics they get into. That's pretty funny. Fifi is actually a wild and unhinged villain. The crazy puffy dog, he's crazy, so he's entertaining. Pet Paradiso is a creative place. It's a swimming area for dogs, and I thought that was pretty creative. And this movie actually ends where everything kind of gets tied together, and it makes for a good 1-2 punch with the original Open Season. Elliot marries Giselle when in the first one he liked Giselle. Mr. Weenie gets to reunite with his owners. And I think he's actually happy to be with his owners in this one at the end of this. And his owners get to find Mr. Weenie, so I liked that. So it actually would end the franchise in a good way if it was just a double feature. The negatives with it, I kind of find it childish that Elliot doesn't want to get married because he's worried about forever and ever. He was fine about marrying her forever, but the and ever was like, ooh, that's too much. And that was just really dumb. And he tries to save Mr. Weenie, but he genuinely thinks that Mr. Weenie is in trouble, when I kind of wish he devised a plan to actually kidnap Mr. Weenie, so that he actually has a motive of not to get married, and it was like that was his plan all along because he was scared to get married. But no, he genuinely thinks Mr. Weenie got kidnapped, and he has to save him. And then you have the ducks that were actually flying, when in the first one they said they survived the Great Migration when their friends were shot down during open season, and now they're afraid to fly. So they kind of retcon that from the original. The animation, not very good, pretty cheap. And this has absolutely nothing to do with open season. The title of the franchise, there are no hunters at all. Other than that, I do think Open Season 2 is actually pretty good. I have some nostalgia for it. I think it's actually fairly entertaining, so for me personally, I actually enjoy it. But coming in at number 1 is the original Open Season. It's a nice, simple movie, a fish out of water story, Boog going to the woods when he's a domesticated bear. That's funny. Shaw is an entertaining villain. He's super funny. Easily the best villain in the franchise. The battle against the hunters and driving them away was entertaining. Skunks are spraying. They steal their underwear. There's a beaver with a chainsaw that cuts a log. So that's all entertaining. The negatives with it, it's not really a complex story. Not really that interesting of characters. And then Shaw was trapped in the basement with a gun blocking the door. And I don't think he could have gotten out just by shoving the trap door. And then I don't understand why the hunters don't just shoot the animals at a distance when they clearly have their guns in the final act. Other than those 3 negatives, not to say this movie isn't a classic. I don't think it's it's easily not one of my favorite animated movies, one of my favorite movies of all time. But it's fun to go back to, and it would be fun to watch it every November. Just a nostalgic movie and a November open season movie. So the original Open Season comes out as my number 1 favorite open season movie in the franchise. Thanks for watching.